Good afternoon, everyone. So this is my third video on YouTube, and today, as you can see, I'm making chicken cutlet with mashed potatoes and corn. So I'm going to show you how that's put together. Very, very easy. One of my favorite dishes. And I'll give you the ingredients and show you how it's made. I already have the water going for the pot for the potatoes. So basically, you're going to need. So it's only two people, so you need 3 large potatoes. I have 4 chicken cutlets, which I actually had 2 big ones, and I basically sliced them in half. You know, my father used to be a butcher, so he showed me how to basically slice meat. So I got 4. I got 4 out of the 2. You're gonna need 3 cloves of garlic. You're gonna need a half a cup of pecorino romano. You're gonna need 3 eggs. You're gonna need a cup of breadcrumb seasoned. I use 4C, like I always use. Sometimes I will make my own, but I am going to put this together and I will show you how it's done. Okay, so I cut up my potatoes. I cut them in small pieces, as you can see, because they'll make it easier to cook. But try to cut them in the same size so they cook evenly. You don't want some of them to be done and some of them still to be raw. So try to make them all the same size. But they will cook faster if you cut them small in pieces. If you have big potatoes, I did mince my garlic. I used a garlic press, so I minced my garlic, and I did get my I did my eggs. I got my 1 cup of breadcrumb. I'm going to add my half a cup of grated cheese. And I am also going to add some salt and pepper. So a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. Not too much salt, because remember the cheese has a lot of salt. So I'm going to mix that up and I'll come back and show you how I bread them. Okay, so my chicken cutlets are breaded. So, like I said, I salt and peppered the chicken cutlets on both sides. I also put a little bit of salt and pepper in the breadcrumb. I dip them in the egg first on both sides, and then I put them in the breadcrumb, and I pat them down while they're in there so the breadcrumb actually adheres to the chicken cutlet. You're going to take regular vegetable oil, which I have here, and you're going to put enough in your pan so the oil, just keep putting some in. I know it seems like I cook a lot with oil, but just coat the bottom. That's good enough. These are kind of thin, so it doesn't make a big deal. I have the oven on high. Once the oil starts getting hot, then what I'll do is I'll lower the heat a little, but I want it to get hot very quickly. I have my potatoes already cooking and they're starting to boil. What I like to do is I like to add a tiny bit. I like to add a tiny bit of milk. Some people do this, some people don't, but I add a little bit of milk to that. And actually, the mashed potatoes actually absorbs the milk. It really, really gives it a nice flavor, a nice taste. That'll come back to a quick boil really, really quickly, so don't worry about it. So I'm going to wait for the oil to heat. Once it heats, I'm going to put my chicken cutlets in, and then show you what's next. Okay, so my oil is hot. I'm going to place my chicken cutlets in. I'm hoping I can fit all 4 of these, which I think I will. And since these are very thin, these are going to cook. These are going to cook very, very quickly. So, alright, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I turned them over, and they're cooking very nicely. So I turn them over a little bit again, and I like to rotate them around the frying pan So they have a little bit of, they get to travel. Okay, so I'm going to check my potatoes. If a fork goes in and they don't come out, that means they're done. That's a little hard, so yeah, that's what, see, it does fall off, but it's still a little hard, so we're going to wait on that. But these are cooking very nicely, and I got my ricer. Got my ricer all ready, and today I'm going to use the bigger hole attachment on the bottom. When I make potato croquettes, I use the smaller hole. This is the medium-sized hole because I want the potatoes to have a little bit of lumpiness to them. So I'll show you how that works when I actually start putting them together. Move them around again. For some reason my stove is on an angle, but I think when I had the kitchen done, when they put the stove back, they didn't adjust the wheels in the back, so it seems like all the oil is piling up on one side. So, alright, so these are almost done. I'll show you a little bit more when I start to actually plate everything and make the mashed potatoes. The red. Okay, so I already riced most of the potatoes. I didn't want to go through the whole thing. I just want to show you how it works. So I'm going to put the rest of the potatoes in this ricer, just to show you. And one squeeze, and that's it. You're all done. So I already did it ahead of time. So now, even though I have the ricer, and don't forget the garlic. I put the minced garlic in because these are going to be garlic flavored mashed potatoes. So even though I did the rice, I still like to mash it up a little because I want to get the butter all incorporated. So me and James love buttered mashed potatoes. So I already put three little tablespoons in. I'm going to put 4 more. It just makes it easier. There are really no lumps. So I was going to pick that up and put it back in a bowl. I already salt and peppered it. Not too much salt. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of milk. Try not to put too much milk. Remember, you could always add. You cannot remove. You can't remove. So you want mashed potatoes. You want a little bit of lumpiness. You don't want it to be. And please God, don't use instant mashed potatoes. It's so much. It's cheaper. It really is cheaper if you go out and buy like 3 or 4 potatoes and make it yourself. Everyone's got butter in their house. Everyone's got milk in their house. So after this, now the muscle. So I like to whip it. To get it nice and creamy. You can smell this. And what I like to do is just give it a little taste. That's perfect just the way it is. So I have that done. The chicken cutlets are also done, and I have my corn in the pot on the stove. That's already done. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to plate everything for you. So there you go. There is 2 plates of chicken cutlet with homemade garlic mashed potatoes and corn on the side. Put a little bit of extra butter on top of the mashed potatoes. But that is our dinner today. So it looks awesome. You should try this at home. It is delicious. I make this probably once every 2 weeks. It is Jimmy's favorite. It's one of my favorites also. So if you like this recipe, just hit the like button and just subscribe to my channel, okay? Look out for more to come. Talk to you later.